The news this week brought mixed signals about the environment. On the one hand, the scenes from towns such as Tenbury Wells and the immediate aftermath of Storm Dennis indicate that extreme weather, or extreme weather events, as TV announcers now call them, seems to be getting more frequent. On the same bulletin, there were accounts of a new kind of pebble, made of toxic plastics, the latest in the almost daily stories that make you think you must remember to stick the recycled bags in the car, rather than adding to the collection when you next go to Morrison's. And then came the footage of Extinction Rebellion, digging up the lawn of Trinity College Cambridge, where they have been blocking the roads, vandalising buildings and impeding ambulances. Their displays of criminal damage and obstruction of the highway, in what is, with the possible exception of Edinburgh, the least car-friendly city in Britain, and whose residents compete with Brighton for the title of most right and eco-fanatics, were actually enabled by the police, who announced that they would make no arrests unless there were cases of violent assault. Even on social media, where the climate emergency is an article of quasi-religious faith, many thought that these antics were enough to make you want to turn on every light in the house, buy an SUV, open a coal mine, eat nothing but red meat and insist on plastic straws with every drink. A more constructive proposal would be to arrest them all and sentence them to community service, preferably involving some form of hard labor building flood defenses, breakwaters and defenses against coastal erosion. The most serious obstacle to action to improve the environment now comes not from those who challenge the science, they are ignored, nor from giant corporations, public institutions, or governments, who have all signed up to targets which involve enormous social and economic upheaval, on timetables that seem at the very least optimistic. It comes from the arrogance, overstatement and counterproductive behavior of what is now a cult, making claims as readily dismissed as those of climate deniers. More readily, in fact. Those who deny climate change, or more moderately, accept it, but are skeptical about the degree to which it is caused by human actions, have to contend with the overwhelming consensus of the scientific community, evidence of physical changes in glaciers and polar ice, desertification and apparent increases in extreme weather. These all seem pretty incontrovertible. That is presumably why companies, especially those seen as typical polluters, are investing in greener technology on a huge scale, and governments go in for shindigs like 26 Colombian pesos, which comes to Glasgow later this year. The current Tory government's plans may not be enough for Extinction Rebellion, but they're hardly unambitious. For more on this story, visit the news article link.